And I'm recording. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Metamorphosis podcast. I'm your host, Milan. My full name is Milan Kostadinovic. I don't hide my identity. I don't think there's a need for that. Because if you want to find me, you'll find me anyway. And it looks like a lot of people are trying to find me. That is a very interesting thing. What do I mean by that? I mean that people started creating profiles to sabotage my online presence. And it started on Facebook and then on TikTok. And guys, just all my message to people who are doing this. You cannot hide the truth. And I'm not saying that I'm the one who is preaching the truth. I'm saying what I find to be truthful and what I see truth in, I share. And you cannot take that away from anyone because truth is unstoppable. Whatever it is, whatever I say, whatever I do. If it triggers you, then it's something that triggers your belief system. And that means you're stuck in your beliefs. And that doesn't actually mean that you have anything against what I say. You have a thing against me because you perceive it as a personal attack. And this is just a podcast. This is just a innocent little chat. So let's just enjoy it. Let's just learn as much as we can from each other because this is really important. I consider it quintessential for the world that we live in today because it's about how we are going to reproduce as humanity and are we going to sustain ourselves or not in the future. Because our relationships between men and women are dwindling in quality and quantity, if I may add. So I would really like to address that. And the most recent article that I've read today, and the name of the article is The Rise of Lonely Single Men by Greg Matos, State of Our Unions. And I can already tell, again, I'm going to do a bit of maybe judgment and roll calling, but it's all innocent, it's all play. And I can tell that this guy is clearly blue pill. And because the title, I mean, just look at this. The paragraph, or I don't know what the name of this is. Kill me, sorry. I'm actually going to record my screen as well, since I'm here, so that I can actually show this to people on my YouTube channel. Great. So it says, men need to address their deficits to meet healthy relationship expectations. And here we go again. So now it's not enough that we have equality. I live in Sweden, in Malmö. It's an egalitarian society. To my knowledge, no women are oppressed. No women are being in any way deprived of opportunity, of equality of opportunity, to be more precise. And for some reason, we see this because this is a Western magazine, because it's an American association, it's an American magazine, and clearly, again, women are facing problems because women cannot seem to be able to find love and to find partners. And it looks like the solution to that is that men need to address their deficits to meet healthy relationship expectations, while completely ignoring and bypassing women's hypergamous nature and tendencies. And the deeper consequences and correlation as to what brought this about. So let's go deeper into that and let's together explore all this because, as you probably know, I'm not there preaching this as the ultimate truth. I want people to be able to question everything that I say. And I mean everything. Don't take a single word that I say for granted. Take it with a grain of salt. Question everything that I say. And I cannot be more serious when I say that. Because I think it's quintessential that we have such a society and that we organize ourselves in a way that allows us to question ideas, to debate ideas openly, and to question what reality is by discerning what reality isn't. Very simple. And talking about public discussions and everything, I'm officially checking out of commenting on Facebook because I see it as a highly infertile, I guess that's the word in English, ground for healthy discussion and debate because people seem and clearly are attacking me personally rather than the idea or ideas that I'm putting in front of them, and I'm personally not affected by that because I'm like, okay, I'm just reading people who have clearly nothing better to do. And if you're giving me that time and attention, thank you. I mean, that only boosts my ego, and I'm very grateful for that. But if you want to have a healthy, productive discussion with me, I invite you to my podcast always. And you're welcome to do that regardless if you're somewhere distant, if you want to do it online, if you want to do it in person. It doesn't matter to me, but I will no longer be able to accommodate answering people, again, also telling people who have been creating false profiles to target me on social media. Again, good luck with that, because I'm not there, and there at this time there are also other people that are managing my social media accounts, and so if you're addressing me, you're actually not addressing me. So, but it's up to you. I mean, you engage to the level that you think you are able to. But personal advice is that if you want to get to the bottom of something, you need to go deep, and you need to go you need to go there yourself. You need to really, really figure out what you are exploring, and that will never be accomplished if you're just scratching the surface. But it's up to you. So again, going back to this incredible topic of suddenly, again, so women are clearly facing plenty of difficulties and issues when it comes to dating. And this, I cannot emphasize enough, this is not a women bashing podcast or channel. I actually collaborate with women, and there are women that are supporting this channel and podcast. And to you, I'm quite grateful. And it is these exact people that see the value in this rather than judgment. Because again, if you hear me speak and you are triggered by that, have in mind that it is because you have an ego investment in a belief or an idea that you are holding on to so hard that you feel personally attacked and offended. And in reality, what is happening is that you are simply listening to someone, in this case me. And if you have a personal beef with me, you're very welcome to come and resolve it. I mean, I'm just clearing all the dust out of my life and skeletons from my closet. And I've never felt better in my life, and working on my podcast and building my brand. So if you're supporting this podcast, thank you so much. And if not, believe me, I get a lot more inspirations from haters as well, because they give me ideas as to what to comment on, because haters come with this very limited narrative and worldview, because it's clearly also a consequence of lack of education and perception and perspective that also is intrinsic rather than extrinsic. So thank you for that. I mean, I mean no offense, but you guys who are haters, you're helping me tremendously by pointing me in the right direction, because I like to see my life as kind of a constant curve, and I'm going in a certain direction, and when I hit somewhere, I just know how to re-navigate. So I'm very grateful for that. Going back. So the study raises 3 key points, and these 3 key points are hilarious. Dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. Now, wouldn't that imply that dating opportunities are diminishing for heterosexual women too? Because we know that women are hypergamous. We know that women date and mate with men who are either their equals or above them. So are we ignoring that with men not being as exclusively available in the marketplace, that women basically have essentially 2 options, which is to check out of the dating market, which I don't think they're going to do, or they're going to become incels, or they can admit to their nature and pursue men that are of higher value than them. When I say value, I want you to be very careful with the term. It is not inherent value, as in value of you as a human being, a sentient biological entity. It is a value as in sexual market value. And this is the term that I will often discuss on my podcast. The market value of an individual that is dictated for men and women in very different and often even opposing terms. So this would also automatically imply that women are kind of suffering more from this, unfortunately, because women need to wait if they want to score a good man, a high-value man would want a woman that, for example, hasn't slept with many men. And this is very difficult in modern era. And I'm not pointing finger at promiscuous women or women who, just say, quote unquote, that they enjoy sex and they love changing partners. High-value men, so men that are in the top 5, 10, 15%, are very clear with their intentions and what they want from their lives. And one of those things happens to be family. So if you have women that are pressured by themselves, so that this is their nature. So their nature pressured them to now be put in between having to decide whether it is worth to wait for the good guy, which you're not going to find, because I wish women to find a good mate. Don't get me wrong. This is not me not wishing well. We are complementary opposites of the whole. And I believe that we are meant to collaborate and work together. At the same time, women need to understand that in order to attract a man of high value, they generally need to take care of themselves. And that means take care of their body too. And that also means who they let in their body. There is this very not so often discussed notion and the fact that the more men women sleep with, the lower the probability is of a successful marriage. And I'm going to link a study. If you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to link you a study below that actually suggests this. And the premarital sex, the quantity of premarital sex actually is detrimental to marriage itself. Because again, what feminism has taught women and what feminism said to women was good is to be like men, to behave like men. So to be hyper-competitive, to be aggressive, to be... and when I say aggressive, I don't mean that in a physical, tyrannical sense. I mean that in the sense of dating market and searching for opportunities in the labor market and becoming better, constantly bettering oneself, which is a fallacy because, again, this doesn't mean women should not improve themselves, but women's value is inherent in their sexuality, beauty, fertility, and youth. So basically, and ladies, I'm just giving you a short way. I'm giving you a shortcut because if you want to attract a good man, you just need to take care of yourself, remain youth, fertile, and pure. And this is going to trigger a lot of women because a lot of women are not like that. And I'm not judging them for that. I have respect for all the women that I have interactions with, and they know my take and philosophy on that. But at the same time, there is an apparent, of course, discomfort in that because if you want a family, there are certain things that need to come to place for that to happen. And these values are not taught anymore. That is one of the problems we have. We do not teach women, and women are not taught by their mothers and grandmothers the values and, for example, how to keep a man, how to have a man commit to you, how to have sex with a man, but for that to be not binding, non-binding, but at the same time that women are not just, I don't like this term, but it's used in on social media. It's like humped and dumped pretty much. And it seems that many women are okay with this because, again, I'm not blaming feminism. I think each and every one of us has a responsibility and accountability over our own lives, but women have allowed themselves this luxury of sleeping around with men while conditioning themselves to be emotionally detached from the act, from the sexual act itself, which actually hinders you and damages you, women, because you will not be able to bond and pair bond with a man down the line because of you dissociating sex from an act that has value, that has inherent value. And due to the quantity of sex that you had with men, then that sex with that man will just not be as special or as important unless, and I'm going on a limb here, unless the guy is a genuine alpha with beta traits. Now, what does this mean? And this is good. That's the thing. The paradox is because this is very rare because alpha high-value men do not go for example, women who've slept with many men. So alpha, the alpha side of hypergamy is that you have a socially competent, physically strong, dominant, competitive male that clearly exhibits traits such as strength, security, stability, and basically someone you want to have sex with. So someone who is really, really attractive, whom you're really attracted to. And the beta side of the hypergamy is parental investment and long-term provisioning. So someone who is going to guarantee commitment as women grow older. And this is diminishing. Again, dating opportunities for heterosexual men are diminishing as relationship standards rise. And they're rising because of social media. Because, again, if I'm a man who is working, I don't have as much time to be on social media. And I'm not comparing men to women in this case, but it's important to make a comparative study for a second, or to do a comparative analysis, because women choose to work part-time and are often unemployed, and they know that their primary agency is looks, their appearance. I'm not objectifying women. I'm saying that as a fact, as a biological fact, because it is usually men who go and court women and who need to attract women's attention. And essentially, there's so many things to unpack here. But the bottom line is that women are put in this very, very challenging position now because they are becoming increasingly older, which means they are less and less qualified to men for a long-term relationship, because the women that are 30 and, for example, over are not able to compete in the dating market with women who are, say, 22, 23, 25. And don't forget that the peak fertility of women is between the ages of 22 and 25. I would say 22 and 24. And that is exactly when the biological clock starts ticking. And what women are told, and again, this is awful towards women, and this is something that I have no idea why the world would allow this kind of idiocy to unfold, to tell women that their biological clock starts ticking at around 30. It's actually when the clock is melting. Like, that clock is not ticking. That clock is melting when women reach 30, because at 30, women are at about 70. Women have spent, so to say, for lack of a better word, or used 70% of their eggs, which means that their fertility is essentially down to 30%. So with each subsequent year after 30, I believe fertility drops about 5% per year. And this is something that I don't say as to alarm women and to make them all frantic and condition them into go have sex with men right now. But due to social media and these relationship standards, as explained in this article, which I really want you to read because it's fantastically absurd. Following this, we can see that it is owing to social media that women are kind of becoming hyper-selective, but it is based on a false premise. And I'm going to extrapolate on this. When we lived in tribes, as hunter-gatherers, as smaller communities, if you will, our interactions with each other were dependent. So we depended on each other, and we needed to learn how to treat each other with respect and understanding and whatnot, and build societies, build communities. This has changed because now two important things happened. First, after the sexual revolution and after the rise of feminism, the man has been effectively taken out of the equation as the provider for the family and the woman. And two, women became dependent on the state for independence. So now women are not going to go to men for independence. Even though they are biologically wired to seek that in a man, they are deconditioning themselves or further conditioning themselves to what they refer to as independence, but what is essentially just working for another man. And I don't blame or shame women who do that. But by doing so, women are not allowing themselves to be attractive to men, because then the man cannot fulfill his conventional role of protector and provider. And this is not to say that those kinds of relationships don't work and cannot sustain themselves. Absolutely not. There is no one size fits all. There is no principle according to which all of us should adhere. Absolutely not. But it is in our nature, since the hunter-gatherer era, that women, as the, and I'm sorry to use this word, take it with a grain of salt, as women are the incubators of the next generation, they're the ones that give birth to children. They are the vulnerable sex because of that. And that is exactly one of the reasons that people believe there is a gender gap, because women choose family over work, as, I mean, I don't deal with shoulds, but as it is by nature. And yet the society, especially women, shame women for doing that because they kind of don't demonstrate some kind of empowerment or whatnot, which is an absurd notion and idea. So what we have allowed as society is for women to be empowered by going to work and sleeping with men. In both cases, and as a consequence of both of these actions, women are not attracting men who are willing to stay in their lives and commit to them and build a family with them. Why am I insisting on a family? Family is a unit of a tribe. And one of the reasons we do not have that anymore is because we have detached from each other and separated. We've scattered all over the world chasing careers and opportunities. And again, nothing inherently wrong with that. But we have scattered all over the world, women included. And don't forget, women seek security and safety. So we told women to do the same, and women are doing the same. And they're doing a good job, as far as I'm concerned. However, when you give women these opportunities, you do not give them the notion and the information, which is, as far as I'm concerned, all that I'm trying to do here. You do not tell women that what men are attracted to in women is youth and fertility primarily. I'm going on a limb and generalizing when I say this, and forgive me for that. But as a man who makes his own money, builds his own business, invests in himself, has his shit figured out, I don't care about what a woman does for a living. My previous partner was unemployed and basically, not in the streets, but living with a guy who, she didn't have where to live, so she lived with a guy who offered her free shelter, which still wasn't for free, but that's not going to go into that. So it doesn't matter to us men whether or how our woman is like. We see it as a union, and we build together because we are complementary to each other. And men genuinely do not care about how much money a woman makes, because the qualities we seek in women are different. They're mostly motherly / nurturing qualities. And this is going to trigger many women, because a lot of women believe and are conditioned due to feminism and since the rise of sexual revolution to not do that and to actually focus on themselves to be men, right? To become men, in the sense that you can do whatever you want, girl. You're empowered, you're a strong, independent queen, but you're not, because your relationship has thus far failed. So, and every sexual encounter a woman has had with a man has led her to the point of not being desirable to other men, because men are focusing on younger women. And ladies, I'm very sorry, this is harsh reality. This is not easy to digest. And if you have something against me, just take it on my podcast. Let's come and talk. But really, this is something that I believe many women are confused about and they don't understand. And I'm putting it out there because there seems to be a lot of confusion and cognitive dissonance around this, and a lot of man-shaming. And this is exactly why article like this would pop out. Because you need to say something for men to do. Again, it's about men, right? So men have been the problem all along, according to feminism, patriarchy and whatnot, and women being controlled and oppressed. And now And I'm just about to get to number 2 and 3. And now we have, oh, well, now men need to take themselves more seriously. Now men need to take their shit seriously. No, guys, what men need to do is take care of their wallets, plan their futures, be highly selective with their partners, especially sexual partners, guard their wealth, don't get married. If I can openly suggest you that, don't get married. And if you do so with a prenuptial agreement. But again, unless you have a perfect understanding of the conventional roles in the relationship that you have, and the woman knows what she wants and you know what you want, and that is shown, not told. Again, trust what women do, don't trust what they say. That is the number one lesson that I can give my guys, the men that I work with, and we speak about this every time we meet. Trust what women do, not what women say. The same I will say for every person, but it's different in male-female relationship because there is a very deep intimate involvement, and there is a very deep emotional involvement, because when you see a woman, the reason you want to have sex with a woman, is not because she is just attractive. That is one of the factors. But due to her attractiveness, you see her as a viable mating partner. And this is the part where women don't understand. Women are attempting to divorce sex from the obvious perception of a sexual partner as a future long-term prospect / parent of their children, father of their children. And every attempt to encourage and enforce this kind of behavior harms women greatly, because it divorces them from the capacity and the ability to pair bond, which means that, and statistically, we have proof of that already, because statistically women initiate 70% of the divorces, and the main precipitator of those divorces is women increasing their material wealth to one of more than the man in the relationship, which fits perfectly into the entire hypergamous theory. Because women, as I said, want equal or better. So if a woman is in a marriage or in a relationship with a man, and the man makes less than her, then she doesn't get the message that that man is going to provide for her, that that man is a secure option for her, that she can choose that man and not worry that no matter what happens, he will be able to take care of it. Now, I'm sure that there are women who are perfectly okay with that. There are women that are, maybe more masculine, maybe more whatnot, that will say, hey, it's okay. However, biology, nature remains unchangeable and same. Hypergamy is there, and it's powerful, more powerful than simply saying, well, I still love him the way he is. Well, he's still my husband, my boyfriend. Because we then expect women to act like men and to expect them to have same values as men, whereas women make these kinds of decisions emotionally. This is an emotional investment for them, because women, don't forget, we interpret the same reality differently. For women, it is instinct, emotion, and then reason. That is why you will hear women, when you argue and you debate women, they will mostly engage in an emotional discussion with you, usually attack personally. Then, when that is done, reason. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Oh, I'm sorry, this happened. I was like this. For men, it is instinct, reason, emotion. We know that we are aware of the situation and the context of the situation and what is going on. Therefore, we are able to not suppress, as women think we do, not suppress our emotions, but simply delay our emotional response. We are fully aware of our emotions. When I have a discussion with someone whom I would really gladly punch in the face, I would say, but I would stay there to the discussion, because I know that engaging in such an act will not be beneficial unless I'm physically provoked and unless I'm threatened, which I am not. So don't forget, perceived threat is not genuine threat. And for women, if they are guided by emotion, then perceived threat is a genuine threat. So that is the main difference also between men and women and the perception of reality. Men, the number 2 subsection of the of the article, men represent approximately 62% of dating app users, lowering their chances for matches. Actually, this doesn't make a lot of sense. Men do represent a higher percentage of dating app users, but they're not lowering their chances for matches. What is lowering men's chances for matches is that they are not on their purpose and that they are not building their best lives by focusing on themselves, but are instead chasing women. So they are not focusing on building their careers, their wealth, of being abundant, of learning game, of learning how to improve oneself, but not in the eyes of women, but in the eyes of us men. So don't get me wrong when I say this, but women expect and want certain things from men. But those things are mainly provisional. Because when women say, I want this and this in men, yes, that is true to a certain sense, but there are aspects of the personality of the man that a woman will never share openly. Because women, don't forget, women's mating strategies are covert, and women need to maintain a certain level of secrecy and not communicate the whole truth, because women don't want to be seen as cheap, as slutty, as easy. And that is a part of women's reproductive strategy as well. They will not go to a man and say, hey, I would love to fuck the living shit out of you. But you as a man should be able to interpret the cues of that and act in accordance with that and act in that favor. And that is what you're expected to do. That is what is meant by self-improvement. Because self-improvement for you as a man is not what women tell you is self-improvement. It is what you know when you learn the game, when you swallow the red pill, when you become more conscious of and more cognizant of the intersexual dynamics, which will actually make you very hated amongst women because women do not like to be exposed. And I'm not exposing women when I say this. I mean, I love my women and they know that I see through these games and we play them together. Play with women. That's the thing. You need to learn how to play with women and play with women. So you are involved in this dynamic and you know how to interact with women to the point that they are interested in you and you're not boring, because most men are boring because they don't know how to play with women. And most men that I meet are angered because they're learning these truths too, and they're angered by women and their pluralistic sexual strategies and being indirect. But guys, you need to understand, women are just trying to find the best possible mate. They're trying to fight for the best that they can afford. And don't also forget that in women have higher trait neuroticism, and that is their natural biological wiring, because they are the sex that is biologically predisposed to take care of the child. So they need to be on constant alert to know what's best for the child. My mom is calling me to this very day, asking me, are you okay? Do you need something? And that is something that will not go away. It is a response that mothers have towards their children and that women have, because that is what prepares them for raising children. And it's not something that we should be seeing as a flaw in women. It is simply nature. Women have naturally higher trait neuroticism, and this is something that Jordan Peterson speaks about in his public lectures as well, due to their necessity of raising children and protecting them, because that's how women protect children. Men protect children through different means, through provisioning, through physical protection, through territorial protection, through aggression against the external threat. And now we come to the third point of the article, which is hilarious, honestly. So, key points. Men need to address skills deficits to meet healthy relationship expectations. And this is an enormous problem. And here's why. Because first we've been telling men that they should... So first, man up, right? Man up. And then man up means open up. Open up emotionally. And now that men are opening up emotionally, and that women are increasingly realizing that they're not attracted to men opening up, because, again, you need to be a really special caliber of a woman to be able to perceive a man opening up and being able to hold a man in that space. You really, really need to be a very, very well-equipped woman to do that. And not many women I met know how to do that. No offense. But don't you recognize the irony in, again, men needing to do something to address skills deficits? What the fuck does that even mean? Should men work better on communication? Because again, if you told women the same thing, they would be outraged. Imagine writing the same article and writing, women need to address their skills deficit to meet healthy relationship expectations. Because again, guys who are listening to this, who are aware of what gynocentric conditioning of society is, who are aware that unless we observe an individual or society through feminine lens, something's wrong. You as a man, unless you incorporate feminine traits, something's wrong. If you don't show emotion, something's wrong. If you do not tap into your feminine essence, something's wrong. That is how you're perceived as a modern man in Western societies. And that is an enormous problem we have to address. Because all of a sudden, so we've granted women, again, from the 1965, we've given women freedom of choice, unilateral freedom of choice over their own bodies. So we've completely taken men out of the equation. And I'm not even going to go into detail right now of how much harm has been done to men as a consequence of that, as a consequence of men not being able to make decisions about their semen after it left their bodies. And if this triggers you, you really need to go into this deeper and understand what is actually being said here. Because this is about bodily autonomy as well for men. Because we together create life, men and women. And we have to come to an understanding of how this can play out favorably for both sexes. We have allowed women since the 1965 to have a unilateral power over whether to keep the child or kill it. And I don't think that was fair towards men. And I'm sure there are scenarios in which that's not fair towards women. However, abortion is the number one tool of hypergamy. And this is going to be a very hard pill to swallow for some, especially for men. But if a woman aborts your child, then that is a pretty solid proof to you as a man that she doesn't want your child. And in one of my lectures that I have, and in my work with the men that I'm working with and that I'm coaching, we're discussing exactly this. If the woman is not choosing you and wants your children, get out. Because you are choosing that woman, you are involved and invested in that woman with the intention of starting a family one day, with the intention of investing together, remaining together and building that. And you need to know that she wants your children and not someone else's children, because that will precipitate and facilitate cheating. And you're a cock and you're an idiot if you are with a woman who engages in open hypergamy. And it happened to me, believe me, it happened in my previous relationships. And I'm not projecting this shit onto this show or you. I'm telling you that learn from my shared experience and learn from my mistakes that I'm never going to repeat again so that you don't do the same thing. Open hypergamy, for example, expresses itself, let's say like this. Here's what open hypergamy is. So a woman is in a relationship, but she is active on social media and posting pictures of herself. That in itself is a mating strategy. If you see women that are in relationships but are posting pictures of themselves, they then know that by being with the man that they are with, they have the provisioning aspect, the beta aspect of hypergamy, but they are seeking out the alpha aspect. They are seeking the man who either has both alpha and beta qualities, or they simply want and are waiting for a better match, and it's just your turn. That's what we say in the manosphere in the Red Pill community. She's not yours. It's just your turn. So be a smart man and identify these things. Identify if you're being used by a woman. And this is not me bashing women or saying that all women are like this. So, spare me. But understand female nature, understand female behavior, understand the female intersexual, mating dynamics. Read about women, read about men. Ask me. I do coaching. I work with men. If you want to know more, reach out to me. Don't be ignorant of this. If you think that women are just one stereotypically pure gender and they're fairies and they're shitting rainbows, you're not seeing women for who they are. And I'm not saying women are bad. I'm not saying women are evil. Women are simply following their nature. Now, the fact that we've built profoundly sick societies, that is a different thing because we're just adapting to those societal conventions. And I wouldn't necessarily say it's anyone's fault. But by identifying these issues, we can clearly hopefully come together and understand this. And if not, well, that will be the end of us because we're already declining. Our population is declining rapidly. And according to Morgan Stanley, by 2030, around 50% of women between the age of 25 and 45 will be single and childless. So if that is not concerning enough to you, then I don't know what is. Because don't forget, this is women's biological nature. No one says they have to fulfill it. No one says that they have to follow through it. But what else are you going to do? I mean, yeah, you're going to have your company, you're going to have your money. And what, you're going to take that to your deathbed and enjoy it? Sure, go ahead. More power to you. I think people should live their lives exactly how they want to. I'm here addressing important notions so that men can know what kind of women to invest their money, time, resources in, and how to build themselves to be the men that can actually support families and build families. Not saying that I know it, not saying that I have all the answers, because we explore that together. That's why I have this, and that's why I tell people, whatever I say, take it with a grain of salt, run it through your own filters, and see it for what it is. So if you see me, if you and I had past quarrels or whatnot, hopefully you can heal from that, you can forget about it or whatnot, and see this content for what it is. And that is trying to help men understand themselves, their role, and for heaven's sake, not lose or sacrifice their masculinity. Because that is exactly what we are still, what the feminism and what the society is still trying to tell men. And here it is. Younger and middle-aged men are the loneliest they've been in generations, and it's probably going to get worse. It's not. It's not, because we're okay being alone. Men are okay being alone because men crave peace and men know that they're self-sufficient. Again, back to hunter-gatherer times. Men know that they can provide for themselves and that they can survive on their own. Women, the older they are, and they know this inherently, that their probability of survival are diminishing. That's why they're forming sisterhoods. That's why they're forming communities, because they need that emotional validation and support that will take their minds off of the sense of impending doom, that will take their minds off of the image that, holy shit, life is passing by, I'm getting older, things are not the same as they were 5-10 years ago, and I need to take this seriously. Because for some reason, the 40s are the new 30s. We are telling women who are clearly getting older that that's perfectly fine, that it's okay to act in the same way as you do as when you were 20. And I know so many women who do the same thing, and they're confused as to why they're approached by the same quality of men. And that is exactly why. Because you are not aware of the nature of aging. And I don't mean aging and time. I know there's going to be spiritual, esoteric people here who are like, yeah, time doesn't exist. Believe me, I've been down that path too. And that's also reality and truth. Like, I see that too. Don't get me wrong. But it's also a reality and truth that that this body is decaying, and that I have a choice to either utilize this body to its utmost potential to create life, or I can utilize it for something else. But making that choice will be the difference between me living a fulfilled life and me killing myself, maybe. And that is the choice that we have to make every day as men. That is the responsibility that we have. And I sincerely hope that women understand that too. So let's see. Over the last 30 years, men have become a larger portion of that growing group of long-term single people. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that is the case. But we can actually afford to be single. And while you don't actually need to be in a relationship to be happy, men typically are happier and healthier when partnered. When happily partnered, for sure. Here are 3 broad trends in the relationship landscape that suggest heterosexual men are in for a rough road ahead. So again, let's scare men. Let's scare men with... I'm sure the same is done for women, but let's see if there's actually evidence here. Whether you're just starting to date or you're recently divorced and dating again, dating apps are a huge driver of new romantic connection in the United States. Unfortunately. The only problem is that upwards of 62% of users are men, and many women are overwhelmed by the number of options they have. Really? Really? How is that a problem? So tell me that again. So if you're watching me on YouTube, I'm going to make this very dramatic. How is that a problem? So read this again. Many women are overwhelmed by the number of options they have. So wait, but the problem, I thought, men need to address their skills deficits to meet healthier relationship expectations. So I'm not connecting the dots here. Am I not seeing something here? So women have all these options, but men need to increase their skill deficit to meet healthy relationship expectations. So what is the problem here? Because this is absolutely not connected. Competition in online dating is fierce, and lucky in-person chance encounters with dreamy partners are rarer than ever. You know why? Do you know why they are rarer? Because everyone is basing their identity off social media presence. And men have become so feminized and conditioned to focus on the same existential aspects that women focus on. That they're not focusing on becoming men as they should, but they're focusing on, oh, I am a man, I'm enough, look at me. I hit my microphone. Look at me, here's a selfie. I'm enough. And I deserve a woman who sees me for I am. Wrong. Wrong. You, my friend, are wrong. You can observe this behavior all the way dating back to tribes, and you can even see today in some African and Amazonian tribes. Men go through initiations, and we know this to be a fact. For you to become a man, there are literally things that you need to do. Women, if you're listening to this, tell me that you disagree with me. Tell me that a man doesn't need to go through certain hardships in life before he can earn the right of being called a man. In contemporary societies, one of those things happened to be financial stability. Tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. Go ahead. We are forgetting that. And we are telling men that they are good enough as they are. And again, guys, gentlemen, no disrespect. You are the best thing that this world has experienced. And that is exactly why you accepting that role as men and utilizing it for the betterment of the world will get you that life. So you need to get your shit together and prosper. That is how you will stand out to women. Because women go for men who are active, who are not pussies, who are out there in the world, who are making a change, who are instilling their will in the world, who are creating something. That doesn't mean women are not attracted to, regular guys doing regular jobs. Don't get me wrong. But keep those women away from men who are doing more. And this dynamic has been discussed recently by Rollo Tomasi in one of his podcast episodes with women going to work for bosses and going home to their men. Again, women, listen very carefully. How would you feel if you lived with a man who earns about your salary. He works for someone and you work for your boss too, and your boss is male. So he's a guy who's in a socio-hierarchical sense higher than your man, and you listen to him. So you follow authority, you listen to this authority, and you follow this man, and there is a certain respect and admiration that you have for him. And then you need to go home to your guy who came back from his work, and then you meet in that as equals, as equal partners. Who do you have more respect for? And I don't mean respect as in, no, I love him as a human. Who do you listen to more, and who do you trust more as a leading authority in your life, and who is giving you more stability and security? Because I don't think it's the guy you live with. That's all I'm going to say. Just going to take a sip of coffee. Relationship standards. With so many options, it's not surprising that women are increasingly selective. They are. They should be selective. They are selective by nature, and by the longer they are on social media, the more they will be selective, and the more they will ironically be postponing that selection, which in return diminishes their opportunities for finding a suitable mate. Let's see. Women between the ages of 25 and 45 prefer men who are emotionally available. Oh my God, emotionally available. Who are good communicators and who share their values. Ladies, this is something that you say because you know the society likes to hear it. And I'm not going to go into the details of what you're not saying. We'll do that some other time, as this show gains popularity, as more people start listening to it, and as I grow more balls to say things, because I'm not going to smash women right now, because I love women, and I'm actually going to be very gentle today. But women, ladies, men who are emotionally available. Men are emotionally available. They just choose not to open up because they know that the moment they do, you're going to dump them. Because when men open up, that directly signals to women that, oh, he's just a harmless little puppy, and look at him, he's so emotional and vulnerable. Oh, let me just snuggle him, and there goes the attraction. It works theoretically. In practice, it doesn't. And believe me, I'm telling you this in my own example. When I've opened up to a woman who said the same thing, and again, I'm not projecting past, I'm not reliving the past, I'm done with it. I'm simply giving you a lesson, a cautionary tale. When I opened up to a woman, when I was weak and vulnerable, I received the following words. Stop whining. And I'm just going to leave you with that. So as you can see, if you're watching me on YouTube, there is no hatred, there is no sadness. I have processed this, healed this, left it behind me. But I will never forget it. Stop whining. The same woman who said who wanted my children, I want family, whom I invited to my apartment, then left that apartment so that she can stay in it, and then I wasn't welcome back in that apartment. Very complicated story. Stop whining. That's what men know that they're gonna get when they become emotionally available. You don't want an emotionally available man. You want a man who's gonna provide for you, protect you, take care of you. Because that's how you will remain loyal to him and respect him. Because men couldn't care less about these things. What? Emotionally available, who are good communicators. What does even that mean, good communicator? What, talk? You can talk with your friends. You can talk with your parents. We can talk too. Women that I'm currently dating, we talk. But we know why we're meeting. We know what we want from each other. We know how we want to spend time. And I'm not going to go into details of that for many reasons. So, good communicators, that doesn't have to mean verbal communication. And if a woman is attracted to me, I can tell. And if I respond to that, then I'm a good communicator, right? So, is that then good communication? Is good communication me perceiving sexual desire from a woman and then being like, aha, ooh, I'm going to respond to this? Is that good communication? Is that verbal communication? I don't know. who share their values. Now, I'm not even going to comment on that. That's just selfish. Because don't forget, we are complementary to each other. We're not supposed to reflect each other, be mirrors, be the same. Like, do you know how boring it would be to date you who is the opposite sex? That would be so boring. No one needs to share your values. They just need to be who they are and do their thing, and you need to coexist and just make it bearable and lovable and whatnot. Now we come to skills deficit. Oh, this is going to be a good one. For men, this means a relationship skills gap that, if not addressed, will likely lead to fewer dating opportunities and longer periods of being single. Wop, wop, wop. There is less patience for poor communication skills today. Of course there is. The problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love, and it requires all the skills that families still are not consistently teaching young boys. Are you serious? This is written by a man, and it sounds like it's written by a woman. It's incredible. This is how far the feminization of men has come. And this exactly is the byproduct of that. So you have a man who is, of course, he doesn't even look very masculine, who is writing that the problem for men is that emotional connection is the lifeblood of healthy long-term love, and it requires all the skills that families still are not consistently teaching young boys. And why is that? Why do you think that is? Could it be because of feminism? Could it be because women are now completely autonomous from men? Could it be because women do not, I'm not blaming women, just to be very clear, correlation rather than causation, thank you very much. Could it be because no one taught women how to treat men, how to know what they want and stick to it, how to actually follow up in terms of action versus what is said? Maybe. I'm not blaming men, I'm not blaming women, but no one taught anyone anything. You are responsible for your own life, god damn it. No one is coming to save you. No one is gonna come and take you out of the quicksand. You need to identify the problems in your own life and figure what the fuck is wrong on your own. No one is coming to save you. If you have a problem in relationships to other women, to women in general, talk to women. Understand it on your own. Don't trust what people tell you. Trust what they do. And you'll live a very, very good life. Believe me. It will be very hard once you get the red pill, there's no going back, my friend. Once you see the nature of humans, both men and women, and the society and everything, you will really, that will hit you. Be ready for that. And if you want to swallow the red pill, reach out to me, because it's not going to be very comfortable. Because the men I speak to that are blue pill conditioned about red pill ideas, they don't even want to talk to me anymore. There are guys who literally don't want to say hi to me in the street because they know my idea, they know my content. And that is proof in itself already that men are not ready to let go of the gynocentric values that keep them hostages to women and to women's ideas and idealism. And I'm not blaming women. I'm not saying women are evil. I'm saying that women know exactly how to manipulate men. And women know how far men are willing to go to get what's in between their legs. Women know that. Women know where their sweet honey nectar is. And women know what kind of games men are willing to play just to get to that sweet honey thing, to the honey pot. And they do the exact same thing. And that's not going to change. Okay. Well, I've been going on for a while, and let's see. Let's finish the article, and then I'm going to finish the episode. Let's see, good news. One result, the algorithms are becoming increasingly more complex in dating apps and other online platforms. One result is that great matches are on the rise. On one dating app, Hinge, found through beta trials, that 90% of users rated their first date positively, with 72% indicating they wanted a second date. That's a good start. How can men reap the benefit of the algorithms? Level up your mental health game. Seriously, Is this what we're doing to men today? Are we now shaming men and diagnosing men with insufficient mental health? Wasn't the problem deficit? Wait. I got it. I can't. I'm sorry. This kind of men bashing is going on for too long. Men need to address skills deficit to meet healthy relationship expectations. And now, what is said is that men need to level up mental health game. Guys, mental health is your mental health. Game is game. If you understand game, then you simply understand it. And believe me, there are both crazy men and women out there. And I've seen people who don't care about that. I live in Malmö. Believe me, Malmö is totally messed up. Because the people that I see here, the amount of fragmentation, problems, psychological issues, still people follow the same imperative. Reproductive imperative and having sex with each other. People do not care as much. Men are much less selective when it comes to sex than women. Men would have sex with anything after 12 in the evening. Because men are just not as selective breeders. Men just go, and if she's attractive, I'm going to say. Because men can do that without emotional investment. And that is considered unhealthy. Don't allow for this kind of gynocentric social order and conditioning to convince you as men that that's unhealthy. Because when it comes to your nature, and male needs and male understanding of the world, that's just, that's toxic. That's unhealthy. It's not. It's your nature. Learn about your nature and learn how to utilize your nature and make the best out of it. If someone comes and tells you that to level up your mental health game, that's mind control essentially. Because what they're doing is telling you that by the very notion that you need to do that, the assumption is that you don't have that health, that you don't have that. You can always improve, don't get me wrong. You can always improve. But the assumption, so the person reading this article who is not self-aware would say, oh yeah, I need to level up my mental health game. And that's how they get you. That's exactly how you lose all the confidence when you approach women. Because they'll see that a mile away. And guess what will happen to your mental health when you get declined, when you get rejected by enough women? You'll reach the point of no return, my friend. Because you are human. You are perceiving the environment. If women don't say yes to you, you will think, and rightfully so, well, something is wrong. And that's it. Because you won't know how to fix it. Those women are not going to collaborate with you. They just want decent guys. Don't let articles like this brainwash you. Your needs as a man are perfectly valid, as are needs of a woman. No, you don't see us men shaming women for their hypergamous nature and manipulative mating strategies and pluralistic mating strategies and open hypergamy. Because that's not how we level the playfield. We do it by respecting each other's nature, coming together and complementing each other and working through that. That's how we do it. If you're a guy, if you need help, reach out. Don't fall into this narrative that something is wrong with your mental health just because you have needs that are perfectly normal. Women's needs depend on their ovulatory shift. They are literally attracted to different men before and after their ovulation, to different type of men. I'll go into that some other time. For now, please, if you're a guy who is thinking about any kinds of things that you're not enough, that you're insufficient, stay away from articles like these and stay away from people who are not good for you, who are telling you, hey, you can be a friend. If women friend zone you, I can't even get, it hurts me to the point that I'm going to fucking start crying about how detrimental to your health is if you're being friend zoned by women you want to have sex with. If you allow yourself to be around women whom you find very attractive and beautiful, and they friend zone you, you're fucked. because all the emotional validation you'll get is the one that they will decide is good for you. So instead of you getting your sexual needs met, which is perfectly normal, you will be told, and I see this in spiritual communities a lot, well, yeah, but we're brother and sister. Let's just hug. Let's connect through embrace. And I've been a part of a brainwashed spiritual community, believe me. Let's just connect. Let's just do this. And that's how you get pre-selected or not selected. That's how you get discarded and you're a friend. Because these women don't see you as a man. They see you as a woman. Because don't forget, women have girlfriends and boyfriends. So boyfriends that they have sex with and girlfriends, and you're either a girlfriend or a boyfriend. And I'm sorry that that's a harsh reality of that. I'm very sorry. So, mental health game. Moving on. That means getting into some individual therapy to address your skills gap. Again, does that not imply that something's wrong with you? So imagine going to the therapist and saying, hello, my name is Milan. I want to get with women and I don't think I'm good enough and I don't think I'm worthy enough. So I need therapy. No, my friend, what you need and what women will never tell you, but us guys will, is that you need to read books, build your business or improve your financial situation, go to the gym, run, work out, do yoga, whatever, and learn game. Learn how to interact with women. Learn what women are aroused by and attracted to. Learn, and grow. That is all you need to do. That is how you will boost your confidence. That is how women will find you more attractive to the point that you will be the one doing the selection. And that is where you want to get as a man. You want to get into, that is the abundance mindset that women fail to understand because it is different when women are abundant and when men are abundant. Abundance means abundance financially, abundance in terms of women, abundance in terms of sex. It means selectivity and options. And when you as a man have options, the game changes completely. Completely. So you don't need therapy, my friend. You need therapy if you need therapy, but you don't need therapy in order to get women. Just to get that very, very clear. You're doing therapy for yourself, not because you're not good enough to get women. You know what? I'm going to call it a day. That was it. That was it. I sincerely hope that you got any benefit from this because I meet so many men that are struggling and that fail to understand these fundamental concepts. And hopefully this will have helped you. And if it did, please, if you're watching me on YouTube, just show some support so that this can get to as many people as possible. I'm writing a book. X marks the spot. So it's about previous relationships, lessons learned, red flags, intersexual dynamics based on empirical experience, knowledge, and research. And it is meant to basically show men what to avoid in women. Because again, women will perceive this as a negative thing. But for me, I always love quoting Krishnamurti, which is Jiddu Krishnamurti, of course, if you know who that is, who essentially says that the only way to learn what truth is by discarding what is false. And that is exactly what that book is meant to be doing. So we address what is false and what is not real in male-female communication, intersexual dynamics, and then and you will have my own experience, and I will, of course, protect all the people in the book. Don't worry if you're watching this, if you're someone who this relates to. And it's going to be an interesting read. I'm going to make it not as academic, not use too fancy of terms, but I will also learn how to write and disseminate it to the folk and the men I work with and in the community that I'm building. But at any rate, I want to thank you for listening. This has been 1 hour, and I want you to know that if you've given me or yourself this 1 hour, I want you to thank yourselves, because many people who are watching and listening to content today do not do it with the intention of learning, because the prejudice is, oh, he's doing that so he can profit, so he can boost himself up. For sure, there is truth in that too, but don't forget that this is also educational and this is meant to save men's lives. And if this can do that for one man, and I've already received messages by 2, it warms my heart and it makes me want to go and do this, man. Like, that's the biggest compliment I can receive. So thank you for that. Thank you for your attention. I will see you in the next episode. That's it. Bye.